How's it going, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new feature match. Here we are in round 4. Up next, we've got top 4. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to record top 8, but we got top 4 coming up next, and then the finals. But last round of Swiss, we've got the Hero deck versus the Generator deck. Featured him on the channel last week with the deck. Didn't have the best luck after getting sacked by Infernoids. That Archlord Christia still haunts this man to this day, I'm sure. But Generators winning the dice roll. And going first, setting 2 and passing over to our hero player. He'll get a started with that copy of E-Call. Search out none other than Bubbleman himself. Then slapping down that Rhoda. Our Generator player checking his back row. Going to add Shadow Mist. And then once that card is added, he's going to flip up that Trickstar Reincarnation. Now, unfortunately, there was no Droll and Lockbird here to be paired with that. The game would be over instantly, I'm sure, if that were the case. Banishing the entire hand and then drawing the same amount. So will he either draw into a better hand or a worse hand? We'll go ahead and find out. But, of course, rips another copy of E-Call. Must be nice. And adds that copy of Stratos. And as he adds that copy, I want to first mention a shout-out to TCG Player. Guys, if you're buying anything off TCG Player, whether you want to pick up a Generator deck or a Hero deck, don't forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below. But now going for, of course, Solid Man into that copy of Stratos, and then Ferris dumping that Shadow Mist. It's almost like his hand, his hand is seemingly the same, but if not, I mean, better at this point. As the hand looks like double Ferris. Shadow Mist might be something else, like a Solid Man and a Bubble Man. So I think he might have actually fixed his hand in the process, which is an unfortunate side effect of the Trickstar Reincarnation. I've had that happen several times where I get reincarnated and it's not paired with a Droll and Lockbird, and it's just sort of a gamble at that point, whether or not it's either going to make my hand 10 times better or 10 times worse. And usually, you know, it's a coin toss sometimes. So dump the Malicious to the graveyard, and then banishing the Shadow Mist for polymerization. And then linking off the Solid Man and the Stratos. Or not linking them off, rather, but fusioning here first into a copy of Adoration. And then going to resolve some effects here of the, I believe, the Solid Man. I'm going to go ahead and special summon the Stratos, and Stratos will use his other effect to destroy some spells and traps based on the number of hero monsters in the graveyard. So he'll destroy that set copy of Generator Boss Room, and then going into the Cross Crusader, gonna target the Malicious Engrave, and then use the effect to tribute it off to be able to, I believe, special summon or search. I'm not too familiar with the hero cards, but this is still, to me, looking like a very interesting deck. Still something like, I gave this deck a chance a while ago online. I was going to add the copy of Dynatag there. I gave this deck a good chance a while ago. I did. And I just did not enjoy it that much. But, you know, watching it play right here seems pretty fun. Going into the Wonder Diver, I believe this one has the ability to add back polymerization. But it has 1900 attack. So, I mean, if you're heroes at this point, you're simply trying to figure out how you can go for a game. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. Going to add back that polymerization on that summon of Mally. And still has one more use of Mally in the main deck, I believe. That's only 2 copies that I think we've seen so far. And going to link here into a copy of the Dread Decimator, which is going to boost up every hero that it points to, including itself, for 100 for every hero monster's graveyard with a different name. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it would look like. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think that's 7 in the graveyard. So that Vian up by 7, Dread Decimator up by 7, which will put it up to 32. Not sure what Vian's stats are offhand. I'm going to go for Mally, which is going to come out by 6 now. So instead of being at 800, we'll be at 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think that's up by 6 now. And it looks like he probably drew into a copy of Honest Neos for that Trickstar Reincarnation. So he'll take 14, and then he'll take 31, and then however much from Vian. And it looks like he's also going to, before he attacks with Vian, boost the Dread Decimator by 25 off of Honest Neo. So he'll take 14 from the Mally, and then take, what would be 46, 56 from the Dread Decimator, and then the remaining damage from the Vion for what would be game, I believe. So a swift OTK there. Hero is getting the job done after a reincarnation. And as we head into game 2, of course, a quick shout out to our sponsor over at Imperium Duelist. Don't forget to check them out down in the description below. Link to their website. They've got amazing new products coming out, and some that are already out. But don't forget to use that discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order. Now our hero player normally increase in setting 1. That is pretty rough right there. As a hero player with probably, a very consistent deck, as is, in my opinion, what seems to be a very consistent deck. Getting very unlucky here and opening such a subpar opening. And our Generator player seemingly looks like to have a pretty good hand in his own right. Looks like a copy of There Can Be Only One in his hand as well, which could be pretty devastating if our hero player cannot clear that in a timely fashion. So going to set that copy of There Can Be Only One, including with that with a called by, and then activating the Generator search card, which will allow him to discard a Generator and add up to 2 Generator cards, 2 Generator spells and traps from his deck to his hand. So he's going to discard the Generator Boss of Ice, the Walking Solemn Judgment, and go ahead and search a few key cards he needs here to get his engine going during his opponent's turn, because if that's one thing that Generators likes to do, it's play on your opponent's turn. So we're going to add a copy of Boss Room and a copy of basically the field spell searcher. I think it's Generate Boss Fight. I think that's the name. Boss Fight and Boss Room. Again, Generators is another deck that I kind of want to experiment in picking up, but I haven't had any time really to put any effort into playing the deck on YGO Pro. But he's going to pass over to our hero player with setting 3, and during the draw phase, going to use the effect of Generator Boss Stage. And if his opponent draws a card or adds a card from his deck to his hand, he can special summon a Generator from his deck. So he's going to summon the Generator Boss of Swords, which is going to go really well here with the other effect of the field spell he's about to activate. I believe that is if a Generator monster is summoned, he can summon as many tokens off of that Generator field spell as possible. And I believe they all come out as warriors, but more importantly, they are all Generator tokens. Or fairies they might be, but gonna get to summon 4 tokens, all at 1500 attack and defense. Now with the hero deck, you have to be careful at this point if you're the Generator deck, because Trinity is a card, and Trinity is licking his lips over those 1500 attack, defense position, or attack position tokens. He's coming for that ass. He's coming for all those tokens. That's 5,000 over each of them, and if you pair that with an Honest Neos, that is surely going to be game. So one thing is for sure going to happen here. He's going to flip up There Can Be Only One on the activation of that polymerization. And he's going to follow up with a copy of Mass Change. Both players trying to activate as many cards here seemingly in the sequence. He's going to chain Boss of Swords, which is going to pop one of the tokens to pop that copy of Increase. And going to also destroy, going to destroy the Increase. And one of the tokens will stay because it is a different typing for There Can Be Only One. But Mass Change still able to resolve, but it looks like he has to pitch a Plasma in hand. It looks like go for Dystopia. Still able to keep that token. So, had to lose a lot of them, unfortunately, to that There Can Be Only One. His opponent will probably be able to pick up a draw off that Boss of Swords because of its effect. He gets to draw a card for every card that he destroys. It's optional. He gets to draw a card for every card that he destroys using Generator Boss of Swords. So, Dystopia will run it over because it is in defense position. I believe not having too much defense. Looks like he's going to go flip up that Generator Boss Fight right now and play another copy of Stage. And I think there might be some discussion going on whether or not the token stays, but the tokens do stay, I believe, even if the card leaves the field. His opponent will get to draw another card, and that will trigger the field spell once again. So he's going to summon Hell Generator Boss of Doom, and that will allow him to, I believe, tribute a Generator or a zombie, to special summon a Generator or a zombie from his grave, or something like that. So he'll tribute away that last token. And then he's going to activate Honest Neos, which is pretty important here since Dystopia, when it has a different attack and defense that's the original, he can destroy a card on the field. But Call by the Grave will be activated before it can even do that, so Honest Neos will not even get to activate that effect to increase its attack and defense. So we'll bring back that Boss of Swords off of Hell. The Generator Boss of Doom. Love that name. And then it looks like he drew a pretty darn good for turn, and that is that World Legacy Monstrosity, which is going to allow him to summon 2 level 9 monsters from his deck with different type and attribute than the one he targeted. So Zombie Dark. So going for the Boss of Ice and the Boss of Light. The Plant and the Worm, I believe. And then being able to search a Lone Fire Blossom in the process. Now, he is not normal summoned yet, so that could prove to be pretty good to bring out another Boss of Light at 2,500. So yeah, can start making some plays here. Options for rank 9s, of course, are on the board. Looking at Enter Blathnir. Can detach to either banish one from hand, grave, or field. It looks like he's probably going to go ahead and banish the Dystopia. And put that Boss of Swords in attack position and just try to swing for some damage. Could commit the normal summon to the Lone Fire, but isn't going to. So he'll take 29 and he'll take 25. That should drop him down to 26 after all is said and done. So not committing to the Lone Fire play for an extra, 2,500 from another Boss of Light. Before leaving battle phase, though, slapping down that copy of Evenly Matched without hesitation. Plenty of cards in the field right now. So it looks like he might have an opportunity here to chain, though, that Boss of Swords, to be able to make sure some things don't get banished completely. I believe checking to see if it is a once per turn, because I believe he did use it during the previous turn, I think. So it should be all good to use it here. And going to tribute itself, it would seem, to go ahead and be able to destroy another monster. So we're going to attempt to destroy the Enter Blathnir. Seemingly. So yep, going to destroy the Enter Blathnir. Just trying to, sort of not take as much of a loss here off of this Evenly Matched, which is pretty rough because you've got a card like there can be only one. At this point, do you keep the Floodgate or do you keep the Body? It's sort of a tough decision to make because one might inhibit his plays, the other he might be able to not get over, but he might be able to in OTK because you remove the Floodgate. But the Floodgate, keeping that, removes the Body, which, leaves you open to attacks if he's able to play through it with different typings. So he's going to go ahead and clear that there can be only one. And going to go ahead and look like tributing, actually now, the Hell, Generator Boss of Doom, to attempt to summon the Boss of Ice from the graveyard. This one is, of course, the Walking Solemn Judgment. Does have to tribute Generator monsters, I believe. And going to set 1. Still has that copy of Lone Fire, which could prove to be pretty useful. Checking the extra deck here. Has a couple copies of Enter Blathnir left. Normal summons now, the Lone Fire. Tributes it off. And is going to go for another Boss of Light. Of course, conveniently enough, a plant type monster. And has the opportunity to go into another rank 9. I would expect a VFD here, but going for another Enter Blathnir to banish a card out of his hand. And I think that may have been the last card in his hand, making him top decking at this point. Has one set, not entirely sure what it is, but Enter Blathnir able to clear that last card in his hand, making it so he has to top deck. Gonna go ahead and get started with Malicious, as what might be the only play he has to make unless he drew a very good card for turn. Unless it's like a Hero Lives or an E-Call, but it looks like he's going to set it. and he's going to end his turn and pass, just leaving that Mally there. Enter Blath, and you're still free to activate his effect and to banish it, and attempt to swing 29 for game, and it is a Twin Twister he ended up drawing, so game right then and there. So now we are heading to a game 3, and it looks like Generators are going first. Opening double called by Monstrosity, Nibiru, and it looks like another, I'm not sure what that other monster was, but not that great of an opening. And unfortunately, our hero player opening that called by the, or that not called by the grave, but Twin Twister, discarding a Dusted Gold, and it'll chain called by, of course. Might as well. But then Fusion Destiny being played. Such an insane card at this point in time. Dumping Mally to the graveyard first and foremost. And then dumping Shadow Mist to the grave. Just allowing to fuse from deck is insane. Going for the evil hero here, I believe. Not sure what his exact name is. But nonetheless, what matters the most is he is dumping you know, Shadow Mist and Mally to the graveyard, which is going to get him access to Stratos. And Stratos, of course, gets you to access anything in your deck. That's what Stratos does. That's why so many things that came after it were titled the Stratos of the deck, doing what it does best, searching a card in the archetype. Going to add Celestial Dial. Going to pitch that off of the Vision Hero Ferris, and then going to equip it with that increase, and then tributing away the Fusion for increase, getting that off the board, and then summoning out Vion and attempting to activate Vion's effect to special another one from the deck. We'll see what he ends up going for here. Going to send, actually, it looks like, the Dynatag, and at this point, things are getting a little bit out of hand. Our hero player has occurred so much advantage at this point. It's hard to believe that the Generator player might live another turn. So using Cross Crusader to bring back our Fusion, and then using its effect to tribute away the Vion to summon out a hero from the deck. Getting another Mally, it would seem. And tributing that off to be able to search. Whole lot of things going on here. I'm not the most fluent with hero cards, but that is a copy of Nibiru, which has got to be one of the best things you could have against a deck like this. So many special summons going on before they can get to the point where they can go for game. So Nibiru coming down, going to have a massive token. Calculating all that up right now. Tribute away a Stratos, a Ferris, a Cross Crusader, and that copy of Destiny Hero Dangerous. That is his name. My apologies for not remembering that. Tributing away Ferris, Stratos, Dangerous, and Cross Crusader. A pretty beefy token. Still has a Mally engraved for a follow-up. But you can see just how powerful Fusion Destiny is. Allowing him to fuse from hand or deck just right out of the gate. Does lock him into only special summoning, I believe, dark hero monsters. But that does leave his normal summon opening cards like Stratos and things like that are not dark. Because it only locks you out of special summons. So Fusion Destiny leading to a huge plus. But luckily her Generator player had the Nibiru to shut it down. To hopefully make a comeback. But setting 2 for turn and passing does not look too good, if you ask me. Getting started with the Trap Trick, though, that is 100% promising. Gonna go ahead and banish that Generator boss fight. This will hopefully get him back into the game. And going to set boss fight and activate it. And this, in combo with the field spell, will make his opponent draw. He's gonna draw a card. And unfortunately, has a Twin Twister for the field spell before it can attempt to resolve. And that right then and there, I think, is just going to be game. The token plus Adoration is just going to be too much. Unfortunately, had the clutchest of Twin Twisters. What a comeback there. The Nibiru swinging things seemingly his favor. He had all the cards he needed right then and there, but a clutch twin twister just shutting it out right then and there. Very, very unfortunate. It could have easily gone the way of Generators winning this match 2-1 had that twin twister not had been there, but the you know, the hero deck taking the match 2-1. Very close match there, I think. Really just decided by a twin twister, to be totally honest. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and as always, Winner Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.